I hope you can hear me well. Yes, thank you. Thank you for this wonderful description of me. I will repeat every, it's always a pleasure to hear how somebody else presents you. I thought a lot about what I wanted to say to you today. I will speak a little bit about the tech project. I think that Eva already introduced it very in detail. But when I thought about what is the most valuable thing that I could tell you today, my answer was immediate, and it was a personal story. You probably know I presented myself at the beginning, then Vanina said some things about me. I am a fourth-year student at the Bulgarian University, so I'm currently graduating. That's the first important thing you should know about me before I start with the story. The second most important thing is that I'm 22 years old, and you will see why I am telling you this. My generation, and not only mine, but people who are now currently in their 20s and 30s, young people, are often described as the digital generation. And when we hear it so often, when digital technology is so prevalent in our lives, it's very easy to think that somehow technology has always been there. And I have thought about that a lot, and it's not the case. Why? I can remember very clearly when was my first experience when I thought that technology was something that is magical and something that I have never experienced before. Now I'm 22. I was 15 years old when I sent my first Facebook message from my mobile phone. And it's not that I had a phone later than other people, it's when things started to change. It's when we started having the world in our hands, literally. And another experience, I was 18 when I first voted in my first election. Why am I saying this? Because the main message that I want to share with you today is that we probably rarely think about how we first are digital and then we become citizens. And citizens, I mean it in the most basic way possible, when we start being able to vote. In my case, I had, let's say, about 3 years to prepare for my first active citizenship act as an 18-year-old person. And I could proudly say that I was not prepared for it. I remember the frustration. Back then, I was very interested in politics. I followed it very closely, but I was not prepared. When I think about technology and digital technology, I could also say that we're childhood friends because in some ways we developed together, we grew up together. And then I think if my generation and the generation a little bit before me, we were the first students that learned how to use digital technology and to use it wisely, we try every day, then who is supposed to teach us? Who are the teachers? This is a question that is very important and we should never stop asking it because in some ways we are the teachers and we are the students because we teach often our parents, our grandparents, people around us, but we taught ourselves. And this is where skill comes in. Thank you, Alex, for saying that young people are the present, and in the present, young people need these skills. And here comes the Detect project again. Its aims are to educate on these topics and to educate in schools and to educate people who can educate others. Because it's a very big responsibility to have the world in your hands, literally and figuratively. If digital starts before citizenship, maybe we should think about combining them together so they could be active around the same time. And it's very important. I had the opportunity to start recognizing fake news throughout my university education because studying politics expects you to find reliable sources. And I learned through that. I learned to distinguish not reliable sources by finding others. But when I think about all the people who are not in my field of study, who are not that interested in following the news, I do not think of anybody who can teach them. So it's a big responsibility, and there is a need for a lot more projects like Detect and a lot more tools to educate people to become teachers while they are students, because these are two simultaneous processes. And yes, this is the message that I want to leave you with. I think that I asked a lot more questions than I answered, but that was the goal. Disclaimer. Thank you.